The 2022 World Cup is set to start in Qatar this November, moving from its typical right-on-money games schedule to keep away from the late spring heat. A sum of 32 teams will participate in the competition across 64 matches over 29 days.
To know which group is more robust, which team can do well in each group, and how the teams will qualify for the semi-finals and final, please continue to watch the video and subscribe to the channel to get more videos like this. Group A has 4 teams: Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and Netherlands. The presence of host Qatar, a soccer minnow that has never been equipped for the World Cup, as the cultivated group took steps to deliver a disappointing gathering A. In any case, the Attract figured out how to present a couple of surprisingly strong contender competitors, the Netherlands and Senegal. The Dutch, 3-time World Cup other participants, have reappeared as a power in UEFA because of such elite gifts as Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk and Barcelona's Frenkie de Jong. Senegal, in the interim, won the Africa Cup of Countries this year and flaunted a bleeding edge driven by Bayern Munich star Sadio Mane front and center. Albeit any country that effectively explores South American qualifying ought to be considered carefully, Ecuador seems to be the gathering's remote chance.
Group B has 4 teams: England, Iran, USA, and Wales. With its new UEFA Countries Association transfer to the side, Britain has every one of the makings of a World Cup competitor after guaranteeing the 3rd spot quite a while back in Russia and progressing to the Euro 2020 last. Tottenham striker Harry Kane establishes the vibe up top, Chelsea winger Raheem Authentic keeps rivals reeling, and rising stars like Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, and Artisan Mount look prepared for the worldwide stage. On paper, the US ought to be the minor number 1 to join Britain in propelling. The Americans won both the CONCACAF Countries Association and Gold Cup and boast an extraordinary abundance of young stars testing themselves in Europe's top associations, including Chelsea's Christian Pulisic, Juventus' Weston McKennie, and AC Milan's Sergino Dest. In any case, a rough passing run and disappointing September friendlies could open the entryway for veteran weighty ribs, contending in its most memorable World Cup beginning around 1958. And an Iran crew that ruled in Asia's passing effort.
Group C has 4 teams: Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. After Lionel Messi finally drove Argentina to a global title the previous summer, when the Albiceleste beat rival Brazil for the Copa America crown, might the 35-year-old footballing symbol at any point cover his heritage with a tricky World Cup title? There are not many, if any, additional convincing accounts in Qatar. The heavyweight Argentines are participating in the gathering by a Mexico group that has fallen on difficult stretches, neglecting to win the CONCACAF Countries Association or Gold Cup or finish on the locale and World Cup qualifying. However, it is as yet hoping to win its most memorable knockout round game starting around 1986. A Poland crew driven by Barcelona striker Robert Lewandowski, victor of the Beyond 2 FIFA Men's Player of the Year prizes, will likewise compete for a spot in the knockout round close by longshot Saudi Arabia.
Group D has 4 teams: France, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia. In the wake of crashing out in the second round of last year's European title, France will hope to refocus and turn into the top country to rehash as World Cup champion since Pelé and Brazil did as such in 1962. The French can pull it off. Paris Holy Person Germain forward Kylian Mbappé, a teen wonder a long time back, has bloomed into an out-and-out whiz, while productive genuine Madrid striker Karim Benzema has gotten back from a 5-year worldwide exile. The gathering's nostalgic number 1, notwithstanding, is a Denmark group driven by Manchester-joined playmaker Christian Eriksen, back on the field and flourishing after experiencing a damaging heart failure in the initial round of the Danes' Euro 2020 run. The gathering is balanced by Tunisia and Australia, 2 groups that have joined to make it past the gathering stage only once and have never dominated a knockout round match. Group E has 4 teams: Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. Just a single gathering in Qatar incorporates various past World Cup victors, and it's Gathering E. It so happens that the 2 past champs additionally aren't exactly distant from their latest triumphs. Spain was the hero in South Africa in 2010, while Germany took the crown in Brazil in 2014. The two crews have changed since those World Cup winning efforts. However, these two European opponents will clearly be competing for the best position in the gathering. The other two groups here have experience playing the spoiler against the enduring competitors on the greatest stage. Costa Rica, which went on a critical rush to the quarterfinals in 2014, was the remainder of the 32 groups to arrive at the current year's competition, fixing its spot after a fourth-place finish in CONCACAF qualifying and a season finisher win. Japan arrived at the knockouts in 2018 and dazzled in a shutout prevail upon the US a month ago.
Group F has 4 teams: Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. For the majority of the beyond 4 years, Belgium held the best position in FIFA's rankings. The Red Fallen Angels routinely include a portion of the world's best players, from star midfielders Kevin De Bruyne, Manchester City, and Eden Danger, Genuine Madrid, to Barry Milan's Romelu Lukaku, who tied as the second driving scorer at the 2018 World Cup. Despite all that ability, a significant prize has sidestepped the Belgians. In what will presumably be the last run for their brilliant age, they'll attempt to change that in Qatar. In the wake of completing on the CONCACAF qualifying table, Canada is at its most memorable World Cup in over 30 years, driven by a skilled harvest of youthful players. Morocco has seen some tumult following its quarter-final exit at AFCON, yet Chelsea winger Hakim Ziyech is back after a spell away from the public group. Then there's Croatia, just 4 years eliminated from an excursion to the World Cup last in Russia. This may likewise be the final significant competition for its own brilliant age.
Group G has 4 teams: Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Brazil isn't simply a number 1 to win Gathering G, it's a well-known decision to win the entire competition, and for good explanation. The highest-level Brazilians will fight for their country's 6th World Cup, and first beginning around 2002, with quite possibly of the most profound crew in Qatar. With stars like Paris' holy person Jermaine Neymar and Genuine Madrid's Vinicius Jr., a Selecao enters the World Cup with only one misfortune, to equal Argentina in July 2021, in its beyond 29 matches. It will be difficult to stop a group as ability-loaded as Brazil from completing first here. However, the other 3 nations will fight for the gathering's runner-up in the knockout stage. Serbia is a decent contender to challenge for that spot, showing up in Qatar on a great run of the structure behind strikers Aleksandar Mitrovic, Fulham, and Dusan Vlahovic, Juventus. Switzerland came to the quarterfinals of Euro 2020 in the late spring of 2021, taking out safeguarding best on the planet France en route, while dark horse Cameroon will attempt to make its most memorable excursion past the gathering stage beginning around 1990.
Group H has 4 teams: Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. This group is one of the harder to anticipate among the 8 in Qatar. The number 1 here, Portugal, required 2 successes at the end of the season games to try and get its spot at the World Cup. This could be the last significant worldwide competition for Portuguese chief Cristiano Ronaldo, the 37-year-old Manchester joined star, and everyone's eyes will watch to check whether he and Argentina's Lionel Messi could restore their contention one last time someplace in the knockout stage. Uruguay has a capable cast of characters, fronted by engaging yet questionable striker Luis Suarez, yet it is unclear whether it can assemble the parts to make a profound run past the gathering stage. South Korea will ride on the strength of Tottenham Hotspur's child, Heung-min, one of the world's best scorers and greatest stars. After a rough exit from AFCON recently, Ghana will trust it can turn the corner toward a more grounded presentation in Qatar.